first off, credit to them. I thought they came out on fire as we expected. Big home game for them, the energy of the crowd today, and they played really well. They didn't make many mistakes, didn't give as many chances. Even with their injuries on defense, once again, they showed up. They've done it for years now. They find a way to play great defense regardless who's in there. Thought really the game was kind of a couple different games, really. I thought our defense was playing well at times there early after the long run, and then we're moving the ball at times, and then all of a sudden, we could only get field goals out of it. You're not going to go on the road versus a really good team and win with a bunch of field goals and a red zone turnover. Thought that really changed the game at that point. Really great play by Montez. I don't even think he's supposed to be out there. I think he just went on his own because he was coming inside like he was blitzing, so Matt went to throw the screen and made a great play. And then I was extremely proud of our team in the third quarter. We're a young team. We started 5 kickers, 6 freshmen. I don't think they started any freshmen on offense or defense. So they're a veteran team. That's why they're really good. And they got a lot of players that played a lot of snaps. So unfortunately, what happens sometimes with a bunch of young players, things showed up. But I was proud of the way we responded. Took the lead, in a tough environment. Versus a really good team. Everything against us came out in the third quarter, and we kind of went back to falling apart. And a lot of mistakes and issues there were those guys who hadn't played very much. So we're gonna get ready for a big game next week. We're 3-1. Season's not over. A lot of teams would like to be 3-1. So go back and get ready to play good Arizona.
You talked about the young players. Obviously, some of the mistakes were made by veterans like Matt Barkley and T.J. McDonald. Can you talk about Barkley's performance and also all those personal fouls that were called against TJ?
Yeah, I don't know how you coach out of the first two. We talk all the time about targeting and when the receiver is defenseless because he's running a route and the ball's over the top of him. The ball is overthrown and you can't go hit him in the head and target him. But when the runner's running at you and you go to tackle him, it's his job to get out of the way. So I really don't know how you coach that unless you tell him to just be a bad tackler. So and then obviously the late hit, we took him out and talked to him and cooled him down. That was disappointing.
What about Matt?
Well, I thought Matt did some good things at times. The interception is not his fault. It's a screen play. It's a jailbreak screen. And Montez makes a great play. Never is the guy that's sitting right there involved in there. It was just a free play. So that's not really his fault. But I thought he made some good throws and did some good things versus a really good defense. And didn't have a lot of time at times.
You faced a different offense tonight. What did you make of the tackling on the defense?
Yeah, I showed up again. We got spread out again, and we showed up in space. I thought it wasn't as bad as sometimes last year, but it showed up again, unfortunately.
They kept running that play over and over.
I felt the same way. We did finally stop it. We tackled it for a 1-yard loss.
Have they done that in all their games this year?
Yeah, they've done it some. It's just it's a tough play to defend. You're going to give up the completion usually on it, but you got to make the first tackle. And so many times we missed the first tackle, so instead of being 3 or 4 yards, it's 10 yards. So it's a play we run, and they do a good job at it. Who's throwing the ball there really quick, and you've got to get your outside leverage. You've got to make the play right there. So it's a 3-4 yard gain, just a long run.
Did you get the sense that because there were no huddling and because it was hot, that the defense was gassed at all, or kind of on its heels at times?
Well, I don't think that was really the heat. I think really, as you studied last year's game, and you look at this year's game from an early observation, I felt like that happened in last year and this year game on both sides, really. If you go to that third quarter and early fourth quarter, I felt like they looked tired on defense too. And I just think that's just in general when you play in these up-tempo games. And I thought that it was the same way at our place last year. As those drives go, you get a little winded. And so I thought it was kind of both ways, really. And that's why I was getting excited at that point because we were moving it. And it got all screwed up. We moved it, I think we started maybe or minus 10 or something. And we drive all the way down. We have a 2nd and 2. And then Curtis gets knocked back. And that leads us into the 3rd down, which leads us into the sack, Powers fumble, and then the game just changes. You're going to score right there. And so I think the score really, as you look at it on the surface, really didn't dictate really the game. I thought the game felt a lot closer. We had the lead, and then we're going down and take it again.
Illinois had a lot of success getting to Osweiler last week. What do you attribute the lack of pressure on him from your defensive line?
Well, I thought really that they did a good job today of countering that. think how many balls you saw thrown downfield. There's so many balls were thrown either behind the line of scrimmage or within 5 yards. And so I think they knew that, hey, they were exposed last week with some of that. They did a great job of adjusting and getting the ball out really quick.
The running game just couldn't get going today, aside from a couple sparks from Tyler. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, I thought that was true in the first half for sure. It didn't get going, but then I thought we did get it going, and it was moving pretty good. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I felt like in the third quarter, early fourth, it started moving, and we opened them up in the first drive in the second half. And continuing to try to get a balance going here. That's happening to us. We're running the ball to try to stay balanced so that we don't get into the game where Matt's getting hit all the time, which is what happened late in the game as we got down. And unfortunately, we haven't got it going early, so we had to go back to the passing games to open them back up, and then go back to the run, and it worked. And then when we got down, and then throw, and then went right back to it. We can't throw the ball 50 times. We just can't. We're not 2005. We don't have that protection, and we can't do it. So we have got to try to fight for balance. And it's what we did at times, and at times didn't work.
Do you have any concern about a loss like this going into something more? This is a young team, and last season you guys started off great, but then when you had that first loss, is there any concern about a loss like this growing into something more?
Well, it could be, but I think I know this team's going to stay together. They're going to be strong, and they're going to fight through it 3-1. When you talk about last year, same thing happened. The first loss happened, and everybody thought, okay, the end of the world's coming. Lose to Washington, we go back and basically have a Stanford game one, at what ends up being one of the best teams in the country at their place. So they'll fight back, and we'll get ready for a big game next week.
You had a
One more
couple
for
of
Coach.
third and longs in the first quarter, and you ran. Were you just worried not to have a turnover early in the game to change momentum or keep field position?
Yeah, I think you go on the road, you got to play smart at times. You're getting those, and all of a sudden that wind was kicking up. And I think you saw what happened a little bit later when we were forced into throwing situations, and so that could have been happening right then. Now all of a sudden the game's out of reach early, so you got to play field position at times, just like you need a spark at times. Just like we went for it on at midfield on that drive, and I think that's 3 points out of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.